Good evening and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Let's begin with the top stories of the day. Government sets up new cabinet committees to accelerate economic growth. 5-member committee on investment and development related issues to be led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. 10-member committee for employment and skill development also set up. No delimitation of Jammu and Kashmir region. Home Ministry denies reports, says no discussion on the issue of delimitation taken up in Home Minister Amit Shah's meeting. India reiterates commitment for clean environment as Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls for reconciliation with nature for a better future. Government to launch school nursery program to spread awareness. Proposal to plant 125 crore trees along the national highways. And Nanil Khandelwal from Rajasthan is All India topper in the NEET examination. Madhuri Reddy of Telangana topper among girls. Over 56% students passed the exam for admission to medical colleges. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday constituted 2 new cabinet committees to spur economic growth, investment and employment. Both committees will be chaired by the Prime Minister himself. The Cabinet Committee on Investment and Growth would include 5 members. Apart from the Prime Minister, the other members of the committee include Home Minister Amit Shah, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari, and Railway and Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal. The Cabinet Committee on Employment and Skill Development will have 10 ministers as members. Led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the committee would include Home Minister Amit Shah, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Railway Minister Piyush Goyal, Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Rural Development and Panchayati Raj Narendra Singh Tomar, HRD Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, Minister of Skill and Entrepreneurship Mahendra Nath Pandey, Labour Minister Santosh Kumar Gangwar, and Urban Development Minister Hardeep Singh Puri. And the Cabinet Committee on Security was also constituted on Wednesday. The key panel, which deals with issues related to national security and foreign affairs, is headed by the Prime Minister himself and has Defence, Home, External Affairs and Finance Ministers as its members. The present Cabinet Committee on Security, headed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Home Minister Amit Shah, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman as its members. The cabinet panels are constituted or reconstituted when a new government takes over or the cabinet undergoes a reshuffle. The government on Wednesday dismissed media reports that it has discussed the issue of delimitation of constituencies in Jammu and Kashmir. It also rubbished reports of appointment of delimitation commission at a meeting on Tuesday. The Home Ministry clarified that there has been no discussion on the issue of delimitation of constituencies in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. It was widely reported in a section of media that Home Minister Amit Shah had discussed the issue with Home Secretary and senior security officials during a meeting in New Delhi on Tuesday. Preparations for the 7th economic census are underway to gather valuable insights into the geographical spread, clusters of activities, ownership pattern, and persons engaged in all establishments across the country. In a run-up to the fieldwork, several activities have been planned by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Training of personnel at the state level is an integral component of this massive exercise. A workshop for state-level training of trainers on 7th Economic Census for the National Capital Territory of Delhi will be held on Thursday. The Economic Census provides disaggregated information on various operational and structural variables of all establishments in the country. The information collected during the exercise is useful for socio-economic developmental planning at state as well as district levels. Today is World Environment Day. Since its inception in 1974, the day is celebrated every year and is organized around a theme in order to draw attention towards pressing environmental issues. Beat Air Pollution is the theme for this year. It is a call for action to combat the global crisis and has been chosen by this year's host country, China. In a message, the UN Secretary General described air pollution as an existential threat to the world.
World Environment Day highlights how much we all rely on nature and on our planet's health. The quality of the water we drink, the food we eat, and the air we breathe all depend on protecting the natural world. But the environment is facing unprecedented perils caused by human activity. 1 million species are at risk of extinction. Oceans are under stress. Air pollution is claiming 7 million lives every year and damaging children's development. Many air pollutants also cause global warming. And climate change is an existential threat. There is no time to lose. This is the battle of our lives. We must win, and we can. Solutions exist. Tax pollution, not people. Stop subsidizing fossil fuels. Stop building new coal plants. People everywhere are demanding action. On World Environment Day, let us heed their call.
On the occasion, President Ramnath Kovind reaffirmed the commitment to a cleaner and sustainable planet and said living in harmony with nature is a part of the Indian ethos. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu appealed to people to take a firm pledge to protect nature and environment by saving energy, water, planting saplings, and also reducing dependence on fossil fuels by adopting renewables. In a Twitter message, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, living in harmony with nature will lead to a better future. He also reiterated commitment to ensure a cleaner planet. And calling for active public participation on World Environment Day celebrations, Union Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar said, in fact, he launched a campaign urging people to plant a sapling.
विश्व पर्यावरण दिवस पर पेड़ लगाने की मुहिम करते हैं। अनेक राज्यों ने ये देखा है कि 5 जून को भारत में गर्मी ज़्यादा होती है तो थोड़ा आगे पीछे करते हैं। कुछ लोग जुलाई के पहले सप्ताह में लगाते हैं, ये भी ठीक है। लेकिन मैं स्वागत करूंगा नितिन गडकरी जी के घोषणा का कि जो हज़ारों किलोमीटर के हाईवे उनके नेतृत्व में मोदी जी के मार्गदर्शन में बने हैं, उन सभी हाईवेज के दोनों तरफ 125 करोड़ पेड़ लगाने का उन्होंने ये किया है, एक निर्णय किया है। और गडकरी जी जैसा निर्णय करते हैं वैसा अमल में भी लाते हैं। और इसलिए भारत में हर एक आदमी को समझना चाहिए कि उसको जिंदगी भर जितना ऑक्सीजन लगता है उतना ऑक्सीजन मिलने के लिए 8-10 पेड़ तो उसको लगाने बनते हैं। और केवल पेड़ लगाकर नहीं चलता, उसको और आगे बढ़ाने की जिम्मेवारी भी लेनी चाहिए। हम एक नया कार्यक्रम स्कूल नर्सरी शुरू करेंगे। स्कूल नर्सरी में स्कूल के बच्चे फॉरेस्ट विभाग के, वन विभाग के सहयोग से बीज रोपण करना सीखेंगे। पौधा आएगा, उसको सैपलिंग को ढंग से 1 साल बढ़ाएंगे और अपने एनुअल एग्जाम के साथ एक ट्रॉफी के रूप में घर ले जाएंगे।
Villages that are not open defecation free are way more at risk than ODF villages, an assessment by the Centre and the United Nations Children's Fund has found. Union Minister for Jal Shakti, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, released 2 independent third-party studies conducted on the Swachh Bharat mission Grameen on Wednesday. Under the environmental impact of the Swachh Bharat mission on water, soil and food by UNICEF, groundwater samples were collected and studied from ODF as well as non-ODF villages of Odisha, Bihar and West Bengal. The study found that in terms of fecal contamination, non-ODF villages were on an average 11.25 times more likely to have their groundwater sources contaminated, 1.13 times more likely to have their soil contaminated, 1.48 times more likely to have food contaminated, and 2.68 times more likely to have household drinking water contaminated. The study findings indicated that these substantial reductions may potentially be attributed to the improvement in sanitation and hygiene practices, a critical aspect of the Swachh Bharat mission Grameen. Releasing the report, the minister said, Swachhata affects all aspects of the environment, be it groundwater, surface water, soil or air, as well as health and well-being of the communities in ODF regions.
जो सॉलिड वेस्ट विलेजेस में जनरेट हो रहा है, शहरों में उसके निस्तारण की कुछ समय तक कुछ व्यवस्थाएं हैं, कुछ हद तक उसमें काम हो रहा है, लेकिन जो ग्रामीण क्षेत्र में सॉलिड वेस्ट जो जनरेट हो रहा है उसके डिस्पोजल का एक प्रॉपर मैकेनिज्म तैयार करके उसके आगे द्वितीय चरण में इसको पूरा करें.
Ahead of the World Yoga Day on 21st of June, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged people to make yoga an integral part of their lives. For Yoga Day celebrations this year, the government has shortlisted Delhi, Shimla, Mysore, Ahmedabad and Ranchi to hold national programs. The Prime Minister also posted a short video of him practicing Trikon Asan on the social media. Take a look.
अब अपने पैरों को परस्पर आरामदायक दूरी पर रखकर खड़े हो जाएं। धीरे धीरे अपने हाथों को ऊपर उठाएं ताकि वो आपके दोनों कंधों की सीध में आ जाए। सुनिश्चित करें कि हाथ एकदम सीधे और एक स्तर पर हो, ऊपर नीचे या आगे पीछे नहीं। अपने बाएं पैर के पंजे को सीधा रखते हुए अपने दाहिने पैर के पंजे को 90 डिग्री घुमाएं। अब एक लंबी गहरी सांस लें और फिर धीरे धीरे सांस छोड़ते हुए अपने शरीर को दाहिनी ओर कमर से झुकाएं। दाहिने हाथ से अपनी दाहिनी एड़ी को छूने का प्रयास करें और अपने बाएं हाथ को ऊपर आसमान की ओर उठा लें। हो सकता है आप में से कुछ अपने हाथ को अपनी एड़ी तक ना पहुंचा पा रहे हों, तो ऐसे में अपने हाथ को वहीं तक ले जाइए जहां तक आपका हाथ बिना किसी तनाव के पहुंच सके। इस स्थिति में कुछ देर आराम से रहें, सामान्य रूप से सांस लें और छोड़ें। पूरे शरीर में आराम को अनुभव करें। अब धीरे धीरे सांस अंदर लेते हुए वापस ऊपर की ओर आइए और अपने दाहिने पैर को सीधे कर लीजिए। अब अपने बाएं पैर के पंजे को घुमाएं और दोबारा यही आसन अपनी बाईं तरफ से दोहराएं।
On to some political news now. A day after the Samajwadi Party and the Bahujan Samaj Party decided to contest the Uttar Pradesh by-polls alone, the Rashtriya Lok Dal also announced on Wednesday that it will go solo in the upcoming by-polls. Led by Ajit Singh, the RLD was the third alliance partner along with the SP and the BSP in the Mahagathbandhan that had been formed ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. On Tuesday, Mayawati-led BSP pulled out of its alliance with the Samajwadi Party, announcing that the BSP will contest the by-polls in Uttar Pradesh alone. She, however, did not rule out reuniting with the Samajwadi Party again in the future. 11 assembly by-polls are due in Uttar Pradesh after the respective MLAs won their Lok Sabha seats. The results of the National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test 2019 were declared on Wednesday, with Rajasthan's Nalin Khandelwal topping the exam. Khandelwal scored 701 marks out of 720 to top the exam. Delhi's Bhavik Bansal and Akshat Kaushik from Uttar Pradesh secured the second and the third positions respectively. HRD Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank congratulated the toppers of NEET. After the announcement of results, the HRD Minister spoke to the toppers over the phone and applauded them for their great performance. NEET was conducted across 154 cities in 11 languages and 2,546 centers. The NEET is conducted by the National Testing Agency for admission to MBBS and BDS courses in medical and dental colleges, approved by the Medical Council of India as well as the Dental Council of India.
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है।
कितने तैयारी करते थे इसके लिए, किस तरह का प्लान था आपका?
रोज 8 घंटे पढ़ता था मैं और कम से पूरा बराबर पढ़ता था, तो उसका रिजल्ट था।
कब लक्ष्य बनाया आपने और
स्टार्टिंग से ही था 11 से, इसलिए ज्वाइन किया था एलन और बस सक्सेस मिला है इस चक्कर में।
And All India fourth rank holder Swachh Bhatia spoke exclusively to Rajya Sabha TV. He shared his success mantra with my colleague Bharat Singh Divakar. Listen in.
नीट 2019 का रिजल्ट आ चुका है और हमारे साथ बात करने के लिए मौजूद हैं ऑल इंडिया चौथी रैंक लाने वाले स्वच्छ भाटिया। स्वच्छ, सबसे पहले आपको राज्यसभा टीवी की तरफ से बहुत बहुत बधाई चौथी रैंक लाने के लिए। तो सबसे पहले ये बताइए कैसा लग रहा है आपको ऑल इंडिया चौथी रैंक लाने के बाद?
ऑल इंडिया फोर्थ रैंक लाने के बाद बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि मम्मी पापा और टीचर्स की मेहनत सफल हो गई लास्ट में आकर।
किस तरह की मेहनत की थी आपने, क्या प्रिपरेशन रही आपकी, कि आपने क्या सोचा था कि चौथी रैंक आएगी या इससे ज्यादा का सोचा था कुछ?
नहीं, स्टार्टिंग में तो ऐसा नहीं लग रहा था कि इतनी अच्छी आ पाएगी, पर लास्ट में जब आकाश के जो टेस्ट होते हैं उनमें अच्छा स्कोर आया तो फिर लगा कि आ भी सकती है अगर और मेहनत करे तो।
आगे के लिए क्या योजना है आपकी? इस टेस्ट में चौथी रैंक लाए तो उसके बाद क्या करेंगे?
मैं हार्ट सर्जन बनना चाहता हूँ, उसमें ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट है मेरा। फिर आगे तो जब हो जाएगी एमबीबीएस उसके बाद ही देखेंगे।
तो आने वाले जो छात्र हैं जो इस टेस्ट में बैठेंगे 2020 में, उनके लिए क्या सक्सेस मंत्र देना चाहेंगे, क्या टिप्स देना चाहेंगे सफलता के?
कि वो सोशल मीडिया से दूर रहें और फिजिक्स पे अपनी ग्रिप बना के रखें। स्टार्टिंग से वो मुश्किल आती है थोड़ी।
ये थे हमारे साथ स्वच्छ भाटिया जिन्होंने नीट 2019 में चौथी रैंक हासिल की है पूरे भारत में, और उन्होंने बताया कि क्या सक्सेस मंत्र रहा उनका और उन्होंने सक्सेस टिप्स भी दिए आने वाले छात्रों को। कैमरामैन संतोष के साथ भरत सिंह दिवाकर, राज्यसभा टीवी, नई दिल्ली।
And time for a short break, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Do stay with us.
Watch The Big Picture with me, Vishal Dahiya, at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha TV.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervor dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight. The intense heat wave sweeping northern India persisted on Wednesday, with the mercury hovering around 47 degrees Celsius in many parts of Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh, even as there were light rains at isolated places in the region. There was no relief for the national capital, with the mercury crossing the 44 degrees Celsius mark in some parts of the city. The Safdarjung Observatory, which provides official figures for the city, recorded a high of 42.5 degrees Celsius, 2 notches more than normal, and a low of 29.8 degrees Celsius. In Rajasthan, Churu continued to be the hottest place, recording a maximum of 47.3 degrees Celsius. even as light rainfall occurred at isolated places in eastern parts of the state. Among other places, Kota recorded a high of 47 degrees Celsius, followed by Ganganagar at 46.8 degrees Celsius. The sweltering heat is likely to persist in most parts of Rajasthan over the next 48 hours. The Met Department has forecast the possibility of dust storm and thunderstorm and gusty winds at isolated places in the eastern parts of the state. In Uttar Pradesh, Banda was the hottest place at 47.2 degrees Celsius, 5 degrees above normal, followed by Jhansi at 47 degrees Celsius, also 5 degrees above normal. The weatherman has also issued a warning of dust storm or thunderstorm accompanied with gusty winds and lightning at isolated places over western Uttar Pradesh. In Haryana, Narnaul recorded the highest temperature at 45.3 degrees Celsius, 3 notches above normal limits. While in neighbouring Punjab, Ludhiana reeled at 44.8 degrees Celsius, 5 degrees more than normal. In the hill state of Himachal Pradesh, there was a rise in temperatures by a few notches, even as isolated places in the state received rainfall. The heat wave also prevailed in Jammu, with the city recording a high of 42.4 degrees Celsius and a low of 29.3 degrees Celsius. Eid-ul-Fitr, which marks the culmination of the holy month of Ramzan, was celebrated across the country with much fervour today. Large congregations were witnessed at several prominent mosques, including the historic Jama Masjid in the national capital, as people gathered to offer namaz. President Ramnath Kovind greeted people on the occasion. In his message, the president said, marking the culmination of the holy month of Ramzan, this festival strengthens our belief in charity, fraternity, and compassion. He said on this day, we should rededicate ourselves to these eternal values that characterize our civilization. In a message, the Vice President, M. Venkaiah Naidu, said, the essence of the festival lies in the sharing of love and joy with each other. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also greeted people on the occasion. And Union Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi offered prayers at Dargah Panja Sharif at Kashmiri Gate. He also hosted Eid Milan at his residence. Union Ministers Rajnath Singh, Nirmala Sitharaman and Piyush Goyal, as well as several other BJP leaders, visited Naqvi's residence and wished him on the occasion.
हमारे देश में ईद भी होती है, होली भी होती है, दीपावली भी होती है, क्रिसमस भी बहुत ज़ोर शोर से मनाया जाता है, महावीर जयंती भी होती है और सभी धर्मों और सभी विचारों और सभी आस्थाओं के लोग यहाँ रहते हैं। ईद जो है वो पूरी दुनिया में अमन, चैन और भाईचारे और साथ ही साथ सद्भाव और समृद्धि का संदेश दे।
BSF personnel and the Pakistani Rangers also exchanged sweets on the occasion of Eid-ul-Fitr. The Pakistani Rangers offered sweets to the Indian security forces and their gesture was reciprocated by the BSF personnel. The sweets were exchanged on the border outposts. BSF personnel at the Indo-Bangladesh border also greeted each other with sweets on the occasion of Eid. So that's it from us in this news bulletin, but we leave you with visuals of Eid celebrations from across the country. Thank you very much for your time.
RSTV.